Um, copy link. All right, we're live. Coaching. Enter. And all right. So, what are we trying to work on today? See, this is your second session. So, the first session, it looks like we went pretty basic skill level. So, we were trying to allow for some finger motion and just get over some of the basics. It looks like we did a very general mouse stability, a bit of smoothness and dynamic. Ah, okay, some dynamic technique. That's pretty cool. A 5-day split. Okay, this was actually probably one of my last split routines. Um, how many minutes per day do you play?
I've been doing one routine a day, so 10 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes a day. That would explain the split. Yeah. Um, hmm. All right. So, have you been able to do 10 minutes every single day?
Yeah, mostly.
How mostly is mostly?
Well, there's been periods where I've had to travel and
Okay.
stuff's come up.
No, that's reasonable. If you can't get to a PC at all, that's fine. Um, but if it's just like 2 or 3 days a week,
No,
you're like, I
basically,
don't
if I
feel it.
play Valorant, I'm
Okay,
doing
good.
the routine.
So the first thing for improving, I'm gonna ask you for, could we potentially bump your 10 minutes a day up to like 15 to 20 minutes a day? Do you think you'd be able to keep that consistent?
Yeah, I
All
should
right,
be able to.
perfect. That's a good thing because that is that'll help a lot. Like 10 minutes a day is helpful to start out. Like as you said, you saw initial improvements after the first session, but now you're starting to see less improvements. So
Yeah,
first we'll bump up to 10 to 15 minutes a day. Can you let's see. Let's watch a Valorant deathmatch and see how you look in there. We'll probably have you on something a bit more issue specific this time around as well.
okay.
All right, nice. What rank are you at right now?
Gold one.
Gold one, nice, nice. Where were you our first session?
Uh, also gold.
All right, nice, nice. That's fine. Mechanics can help, but at a certain point, you actually have to know how to play the game as well. So I would
Oh no,
recommend.
I ranked up. It's just the season reset.
Oh, okay, nice. So you hit plat or gold
Yeah.
two at least. Oh, you hit plat. Nice, nice, perfect. Um, so yeah, we'll try and get you to do another jump to like higher rank. Do you think the aim helped a lot, or were you also working with a Valorant coach?
Um, I worked a little bit with Valorant coach, but it's mostly just
Nice. Do you know which coach you, or you obviously know, but which coach did you use? I want to see if I know them.
referees.
Oh, the guy on the site. That's nice. Yeah, I did actually see that in the order logs. Now that I think about it, I actually saw you. Bye. Nice. How was he?
It's good. It's just a lot of peak corners.
Mm-hmm. Nice. It's good that he helps. Not that I really, not that it matters too much to me, but I was just kind of curious. Do you feel his sessions are more like adapting to your issues, or it's a set list of things he tries to get through, like almost like a class with like a specific bit of instruction, if that makes sense?
It's definitely adapting to my.
Okay, that's good. I do prefer that kind of coaching, but I didn't know exactly what he did where he had so many different packages for so many different ranks, if you know what I mean. Seemed almost like he had like classes he pre-planned and was just administering to one person. I can tell based on what I gave you last time, you've definitely improved a lot with aim. I don't remember exactly what your aim looked like, but you look a lot more smooth, steady, stable than
Yeah.
what someone I would give that kind of playlist to. Nice. Okay. Hmm. Okay, nice, nice. I think the next thing we're gonna have to work on is maintaining the stability while increasing your speed.
Yeah.
That's usually like the first two steps of becoming like if what you did last session was step one of learning to aim, I'd say this is kind of step two of learning to aim in general. And then usually after that, if a lot of times if people are at a higher skill level when they first get my coaching or whatever, then they'll be a lot more specific, if that makes sense. Where I won't get to start with step one and have them start out with the basics and then move on, and I'll have to kind of go back and like, you know what I mean? It gets kind of like, but for like people who just finished like doing that kind of routine, almost always they end up in the same place where they need to kind of work on a bit of going faster without losing the stability, consistency, and all those things.
Yeah.
Nice. So that's what will get you going on, and you'll be aiming much, much better soon. Nice. Good shot. See how with Breach your crosshair just stayed next to him like for an extended period of time?
Yeah. Sometimes it works, and then sometimes it doesn't.
That's what I'm kind of talking about. When you hit a certain point, a lot of the time you'll need a certain level of precision at a certain level of speed or whatever that just overwhelms you. You won't be able to
Yeah.
make that push, and that's what causes the thing with that breach. If that makes sense. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I mean by pushing speed while maintaining the stability and calmness and all those things. Nice. Yeah, a bit of precise work will probably help too. Like some of the really small micro movements. I'll have to see what the small scenarios I gave you last time were. Um, Anything you feel you've noticed in your game that I haven't picked up on?
Sometimes if it's like super far range and I'm like strafing,
Yep.
I struggle to like maintain it. Like if I'm strafing, sometimes I struggle to keep on target.
Yeah, that makes sense. That was kind of like that cipher with like the super small micro stuff on top of
Yeah.
the kind of pushing yourself to be uncomfortable. Geez, Breach kind of dominated that deathmatch. All right. Let's go to Kovacs now and let's look at the smallest stuff you were doing on your playlist, if you know what it is. That's a lot of friends playing League. You must have terrible mental health.
League used to be my game.
I'm just joking. Because League players are so known for
Toxicity.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I've also had an issue with consistency in
Okay.
these scenarios.
Consistency. Explain that to me a bit more.
My scores are just all over the place.
All
I don't
right.
know how to pull them
Let me
up.
see what scenarios you have scores all over the place on.
That's
That would be scenario stats. You're on Control Sphere version 2 easy.
yeah. Um,
That's weekly scores. That's your daily averages.
uh, I guess
You
my daily average isn't bad, but if I go in game, it goes all over the place.
here hit recent. Okay, it only shows the last 6 runs on recent. Really go by. That is
I think it's mostly the tracking ones.
all right. Which tracking or dynamic tracking? Okay, not dynamic clicking.
It just
Smooth
goes
bot.
up and down a lot.
Will take easy. What's
It's
the
like
minimum? 1500, and what's the top one? 1851. Okay,
I
so
just
this
saw this.
scenario is actually pretty cool because this scenario we can actually say how far apart those scores are because a while ago this scenario was considered a ranked scenario, right?
Yeah,
So Smoothbot, right?
yeah.
From
So this
1560
is
to 1850.
yeah.
So that's roughly within the span of one rank. That's not really a lot of score variability, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Like, basically, a rank on the scenario is considered every 400, 3 to 400 points, depending on which rank it is.
Yeah.
So getting a 400-point disparity is actually pretty consistent.
Okay. I just want to show because my score jumped up like 400 in one day.
Yeah, jumps between like 400 is actually, yeah, pretty consistent, surprisingly. Like, it doesn't
Okay.
sound like it should be consistent because it's 400 because your scores are pretty low.
Yeah.
But if you think about it here, do it in terms of accuracy. Check the accuracy and uncheck the score. And now uncheck score. All right, so now look at what your lowest accuracy is. That's 28.16 accuracy. Now go to your highest accuracy. 33 accuracy. So it's 5% difference. Not really that big. Noticeable, but not huge. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
That's actually pretty consistent for that scenario. Is there any scenarios you feel you're more inconsistent on that you want to look into?
Um.
Smooth sphere easy. 42 act minimum, 49 act maximum. It's not a huge difference.
Okay. Yeah,
Average
that was the
accuracy
main one.
45. Yeah, it wouldn't work. Like pop to raw mouse control clicking 3. Switch back to score from act. Uncheck act. 15 to 18. Yeah, see like 17, 50, 70 all the way down to like 50 or 1450 on the left. And that's between 2 runs. See, it's just like scenarios. You can't expect the same score every time, even if you're the same person, right?
Yeah.
That's why I'm not sure if you use Twitter much, but have you heard about the AIM Lab Dallas, Texas competition coming up?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the whole memes behind aimbot neon.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what's gonna make the Dallas so interesting because everyone's expecting Matty Overwatch to walk in, win first place, Kevin to walk in, win second place, and then third place is kind of up for grabs. But where I'm pretty sure they only get one try of each scenario, with this much score flexibility, could Kev win the whole tournament? Unlikely, but it could happen. You know what I mean? Like we could see some upsets there.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy like one of the Valorant pros beating Neon, because that's not going to happen, unfortunately. But we could see some upsets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go and let's let's get done for now. And let's show me your dynamic playlist. Oh, Okay, that explains why I did it in 10 minutes. Me your tracking post. Okay, that explain. Let's see Control Sphere Easy V2. Challenge it. Nice.
Uh, Also, I was changing my sense between tracking and static.
Cool. So you trail a lot still, which is actually kind of fits in with the issue we want to work on of pushing yourself a bit and being faster while maintaining stability.
Yeah,
Did we go over what trailing means last session?
yeah,
All right, nice. So yeah, you're still trailing a lot, and I'd really try and like just dial your entire mental energy into fixing that trailing issue. Because yeah, it's actually really bad. Okay. So yeah, it's very bad trailing. But you can definitely work on that. So I'd focus on that in this scenario. Hit done.
yeah.
What was how did I set up your split? Were you doing what was it? It was
I was in
one.
tracking, static, dynamic, tracking, static.
Okay, so I only had you on one day dynamic, so I probably thought dynamic was too hard for you. So let's see the passive. Yep. Okay, cool. Kovacs. All right, you can pause this. We don't need a full run of your passive.
Yeah,
Let's see. Let me just take a note on control sphere. Easy V2. Da, da. You trail a lot. Well, I can't. There we go. What was the scenario? Oh, it was just regular passive, right?
yeah.
Cool. Where'd you go, passive?
I realized I started this at the wrong sense.
That's fine because shouldn't make a huge difference. Like here, I'll play. What's your normal static sense?
314, play 314.
304. All right, so I'm similar on my static, and this is me playing dynamic on that sense. I'll do this on that sense to demonstrate. Basically, what you did was you were very shaky. Like you would always be predicting the bot to move, so it was almost like you were tracking it with an S, if that makes sense, right? Because you're
Yeah,
predicting its movements. Same with Valorant, where you flick past the person because you're expecting them to change direction and all those things, and you end up shaking around. So that actually gives me another idea. But basically, just expect the bot to move in its current direction infinitely and then move and then turn, right? You don't want to predict it to start moving. Like there was that one Brim on Heaven who was just, or Breach or Brim or something, who was just standing still and you went past them 15 times like this because you kept expecting him to strafe.
yeah,
Notice how none of my micros I really have to track it like it's moving forward or track
yeah,
it like by making an S around the bot. Like try
yeah.
to aim for that. So let's try that again. You can go back to your normal sense if it makes it a bit more comfortable, but try it again. Does the high score bar stress you out at all?
A little bit
Yeah,
sometimes.
let's shut that off. That thing stresses me out too. I haven't played that. Let's restart. Let's shut it off and restart this because I think you could get a high score. Settings, UI, high score bar, bottom right of the little grid, Save, restart. All right, that's fine because your technique was actually decent for that, even though you flopped it pretty bad.
Yeah,
You had what 130, maybe me telling you to get a high score kind of threw you off and you were panicking a bit and clicking a lot. That was the main flaw with that run. Even you were fixing the S's and all that stuff, but you were clicking a lot more than you should have been.
yeah.
So that's a good
I think
overall. Yeah.
the clicking was a general problem.
Okay, that's fine. Passive. And also a lot of times working on a new technique doesn't yield immediate results. Sometimes it can be a bit of a divot and then help. Don't
Yeah,
shape, don't predict directional changes. Don't shake as much and S turn around following the bot's path. You know what I mean by S turn? Like imagine that the bot's path was a straight line. Here, watch my stream. See how my cursor is like a line right now over that S?
uh, I can't see your cursor.
Bottom left? Or over right here?
Oh yeah, I see it.
See how it's like a line over this S?
Yeah,
Imagine that the S is the way your crosshair moves, and the line in the cursor, the long part of the cursor, is the way the bot moves.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So just don't make it like that. That's what I mean by the S turning. And don't spam click. Try to save one click per bot. So that technique will help you, but we obviously, I obviously don't want you. I think one thing we're gonna change about your routine is I'll give it more diagnosis first. Hit done. Let's play floating heads. All right, cool. Almost a high score, that's fine. So what I want you to work on here is one, I'll just share my screen. So for one thing, you were very much like this, like very shaky with your stuff. Like a lot of times you'd have like a, and then a down and click, up and
Yeah,
click, U-turn and click. So try to make your flicks more direct and like more onto the target. Like that almost. And also what I want you to work on is to try to make them faster. Like push speed a bit at the expense of some misses and just move fast around the map if that makes sense.
yeah,
Like you would really hit a max speed and then just not push past that. There were a few of them that were good flicks. Probably around like the 30 45 second mark you had some pretty good flicks. But other than that, try and push speed a bit more to get closer to how you flick in game. Let's try it again. Faster, straighter. Doesn't have to be a full-on flick, just faster and straighter. So it seems like whenever you focus on technique, you also end up clicking a lot more, missing a lot more, and the other things you try to focus on kind of go down the drain.
yeah,
So try and keep the primary. So remember in the beginning of the session when I said we want to work on maintaining this level of stability and control while increasing speed?
yeah,
So this is where the hard part comes in that it actually becomes training, not just changing your technique and instantly being better, right?
yeah,
Because if you could just change your technique for everything, but um if you just could change your technique for everything and instantly be better, we wouldn't need the aim trainer for more than just a quick run of practice, then you go back in Valorant and hit diamond, right?
yeah,
So that's where you want to really make sure you really struggle and try to get to a point where you're able to move faster while maintaining technique. Maintain techniques, move faster, straighter, flickier. Okay, so let's see. Let's look at some of your other tracking scenarios because I think this scenario could honestly be bumped up to a floating heads 800% at least. My goal is to try and make as many of these playlists as different as possible without not really without sacrificing anything, if you know what I mean. Like still get the benefits of them. So let's do
yeah,
3 reps of the 800 floating heads 400, 2 reps of the 400. And then let's bump down the reps of Pasu to 3, and let's add in this new scenario that I want you to try. Horizontal. And we'll go up to 2 on that one. Search up Pure G horizontal clicking Valorant. Perfect, top one. Play it like it's Pasu, but the bots only move side to side. Perfect. And by perfect, I mean that sucked, but in a way that we can improve. Watch this. This to you. Does this look familiar at all?
Yeah.
It looks exactly like you in Valorant.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do, instead of this, is, and I'm gonna go back to a sense I'm more comfortable with so I can demonstrate it better, is we're gonna go like this. Restart. Straight to the bots. And we're gonna hit them more than I hit them because, what's it called? I am not warmed up and not wearing my arm sleeve. And washed. But you get my overall point of how I'm not going back and forth on the bots, right? I'm just kind of getting close to them, micro adjusting onto them. And when I make that micro adjustment, I make sure that regardless of whether or not the bot changes direction, my crosshair will be in a place where it hits it, right?
Yeah.
So that I can always be on target, if that makes sense. And yeah. So let's see you do this. Slow down the micro adjustments. You don't want to go to a complete stop where you're just waiting for the bot, but almost like a slow movement that functions similarly, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It'll feel like you're almost combining the floating heads and passo technique into something applicable for games. Perfect. Or not perfect, actually. Let's replay that. Try it again. All right, now you're just doing what you did the first one, but slower.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is we want to don't let the bot pass your crosshair without clicking on it. That's the main objective. The bot's going to come at your crosshair or away from it, and your crosshair is going to move into it. And when they meet, you got to click. That's the goal. Don't let it pass each other. All right, let's replay it like this. Your crosshair. Hmm. You ever been fishing before?
Yeah.
So you cast your rod, you reel it in, and then if you're on a boat and the fish is heavy, once it starts to get to the surface of the water, instead of letting it get up off the surface of the water, wiggle around and escape somehow by somehow dodging the hook when it's in the air, you use a
Yeah.
fish net to secure the fish, pull it up
Yeah.
through the net, right?
Yeah.
The bot is the fish, your crosshair is the net. Let the two of them like bring the net into the fish while the fish squirms around or whatever, and don't let the fish fall through the net. The fish doesn't go through a hole in the bottom of the net. Once it's in the net's secured it, and that's where you click, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Fish fell through the net. Fish fell through the net. Caught. Caught. Fell through the net. Fell through the net. Fell through the net. Fell through the net. Caught. Caught. Fell through the net. Caught. Fell through the net. Caught. Fell through the net. Caught. 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 Fell through the net. Fishing. All right. So, hmm. All right, nice. Hit done. So, in this scenario, you're going to struggle with it, but I think it's actually pretty good for you to play. I think you have enough of the technique that it'll be a good struggle, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, your new dynamic playlist is floating heads 400%, floating heads 800%, which is basically double the speed, 2 reps of each, 2 reps
Yeah.
of passive. Oh, wait, we're doing 15 minutes now. Hold on a second. Let's do this for 6, 3, 3, 3. What's that? That's 15. Okay, 3 reps of each of those scenarios, and then 6 reps of this one.
Yeah.
So, really focus on the technique in this one. You can just download the update to your playlist. It'll change once you might have to delete the locally stored version, and then like if you delete that cow dynamic and then
Yeah.
go to the online playlists and then download cow dynamic, it'll change. Online playlist. Search cow, just search the word cow or the shit. Search the word cow, you get a search the word cow.
Uh.
Because you already have there you go. Yup. Smoothly get on the bots. The fish does not fall through the net.
Yeah.
Perfect. Static. What do we have you doing for static? All right, let's look at your static scenarios now. 116 target small. We'll start with that one. Play it. Okay, yup. So, static. You could serve to push the speed on it a little,
Yeah.
but that being said, with how you play in game and how this was, honestly, I think it would be better to put down the static for a little bit and focus more on your precise control, your dynamic, your smoothness, your not trailing, all those things, and then maybe pick it up a month down the road
Okay.
with the attempt of getting faster at it. But not completely ignore it, right? So what we're gonna do is when you launch Kovacs,
Yeah.
you launch Kovacs, play one run of one wall, six targets small, focus on increasing flick speed and trusting micros, if that makes sense, like moving faster flicks, faster micros, because it will help you. But I feel like
Yeah.
fixing your trailing issues could help a bit more. So we'll focus on that for now, if that makes sense. And then
Yeah.
after that, you'll do alternate, alternate, dynamic, and tracking playlists after. I'll say 1 to 3 runs. 1, 2, 3 runs. And when I say trusting micros, I just mean like trying to micro just more reflexively, quicker. But in the end, you'll probably have an easier time figuring that stuff out if you just, after a bit of working on the dynamic and your floating heads technique change, will help a bit with this, anyways. So it's not super important. It done. Now last but not least, we'll look back into the tracking a bit. So we've already seen the control sphere easy. I want you to do it again and focus on not trailing at all. If you see yourself trailing, immediately start accelerating your mouse.
Yeah.
Long stretches of trailing. Long stretch of trailing, long stretch of trailing, long stretch of trailing. Long stretch of trailing. Okay. Um, you were on pace for a high score until the last 10 seconds. Um, hmm, hmm. Let's attempt real control sphere. Look up control sphere. Play it. Top one. Play. Don't trail, don't trail. As you're trailing, what's going through your mind?
To catch up.
When I fixed my own, when I really grinded to fix my own personal trailing issues like a year ago, the way I did it was every time I was trailing, I would just say in my mind over and over again, trailing, 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 good. Once I was on, I was just like, good. Let my mind rest until I was off again, trailing, 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 good. Good. Just like that. Nice. 25% accuracy. Mm, not ideal, but I can throw it in the routine. Hit done. Let's see your smooth bot run. Back to yeah. Yeah, let's see smooth bot and smooth sphere now. Trailing. All right. So you trailed a decent bit. Um, but it wasn't nearly as bad as the control series you had done. Or yeah, done, and then move on to smooth sphere. Okay, so for the first 15 seconds, you were on pace for a 1,300 point high score. And then I think you
Yeah.
realized you were doing so good and fell off because you started panicking.
Yeah, I think I started realizing halfway through that my sense was a bit off, and
Uh,
I had to pick up my mouse a couple of times.
oh, okay, I got you. Where you were on the lower sense, you were able to hold a higher. Regardless, it was still a 43% accuracy run, and it was one of your worst runs.
Yeah,
So I think that's a sign that we can cut this scenario out completely and move on to Rail Smooth Sphere.
yeah,
So tracking. One, we're gonna delete Smooth Sphere Easy and add in Smooth Sphere. Um, Two, we're gonna we're gonna delete Smoothbot Easy, and we're gonna add
yeah,
in Smoothbot Invincible Goaded. Play that. Search up Smoothbot Invincible Goaded for me. I just want to make sure it's a good scenario for you and not too hard. Um, and then what we're gonna do, we're gonna add in Rail Control Sphere for a couple runs. And then the last scenario I want you to work on will be actually the. Let me know when you find Smoothbot Invincible Goaded.
yeah. I got it.
Track. All right, hold on a second and let me hop back into Discord, and then we can start playing it. Let's go. 2, 2, 5, 6, 3. All right, cool. Play. You can go back to a tracking sense if it's more comfortable for this.
Yeah,
All right, you're good. You can finish throwing if you want, though it's not necessary. You'll handle that scenario. It'll be a bit of a resetting. It'll be a bit hard, but you can handle it. Let's search up Pasu Microtrack Easy. You can just type in Pasu Microtrack. It's the main one. Microtrack. One, two words. Microtrack. Nice. Top one. Play it. Okay, the bot looks like it's in 30 FPS and your crosshair looks like it's in 10. You see how it's very shaky, unsmooth, flicky?
Yeah,
Remember in game when you were off to the side of the brim or the breach's head, and we talked about it probably for 30 seconds afterwards, where you were off the
yeah,
side of the breach's head and you couldn't get back on it?
yeah,
Same thing. See how it feels the same? Trying to get on the
yeah,
spot. Yup, so just learn to be smooth, steady with that. And when you have that next time, it'll feel pretty easy to just slide onto his head.
yeah,
So that's why this will be your main tracking scenario for the routine.
yeah.
Let's see. So we'll do the static, the dynamic. Here, let's go back to one while six targets small, where I'm having you play it 1 to 3 times a day. I want to make sure you can get the technique done, right? Play it. So try to make your micro adjustments more a part of your flick. So let's make that your goal. Like flick into the micros. Yep. All right, now try to make your flicks a bit faster while making them a bit more accurate. Like flick fast, but really focus on landing on the target, if that makes sense. That's slower. Now you're gliding. Don't focus so much you land on the target that you glide. Like balance the speed and the accuracy. Nice. That was a good one. Even though it's curved, it was good. That's fine. I feel like you're just someone who, when I give you many instructions, you struggle to focus on them all and still
Yeah,
maintain a good score and accuracy, and that's fine. You'll get better at that as you just try and practice them. I did give you a lot of stuff at once. Here, let's try that 1 or 2 more times. All right, you're getting better at following the instructions and improving the score. That's good. So, do you have any other questions for me?
not really.
Perfect. Do you feel like we've covered everything you wanted to go over?
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot that we covered,
Yeah,
and it's all in the DMs. Like you can read through these. Oh, I'll give you more static instructions. One wall 6 TS dot dot. Focus on in this order more fluid slash with the flick. What's a good way to describe more fluid slash spontaneous slash non thought out slash confident micros. So all four of those words mean the same thing.
yeah,
Dash dash. Um, Faster micros. Or wait, sorry. No. Faster and more accurate flicks balance the two competing things without gliding, flail, flailing. So basically, what I want you to do, when I say in this order, I mean the more fluid micros are your top priority. Then your second priority is increasing flick speed while maintaining some initial flick accuracy, right? You don't want to be landing a mile away from the crosshair, but you also don't want to be gliding so that you land on target every time, right?
Yep.
Just try. I'd try that.
Okay.
Um, Anything else you need clarification on or want to talk about before we call it?
No, that was it. It's a
Perfect.
lot. Thank you so much.
Perfect. We'll talk. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Good one. Let me know how you progress and all.
Will do.
Thanks. Bye.
Man, we'd like you.
Nice. Forgot I was streaming. Hold up. Do I still have any? I still have viewers. What? Oh, this was actually a pretty successful stream for this channel. Um, one question for the end of the stream. Do you think, what do you think, do you think is good doing hand coordination exercises? Um, I'd say your best hand coordination exercise is probably just aim training itself, honestly. After that, it's like you literally have an aim trainer to work on hand coordination less. It could be beneficial, though I feel like it's kind of like mental practice. Like, yes, you can practice something mentally and improve at the skill, but you're better off doing the actual practice. Though I could be wrong. Haven't looked into it too much. Probably depends on the exercise. If you got an exercise, hand dexterity, like hand stretches and like hand mobility exercises, that's a whole different story. But coordination, I think aim training and moving while aiming, probably your best bets. Bye, chat. Love you.